Hey, what's up guys? John from Mongo Fishing. Time for a monster bass unbagging. Notice I didn't say unboxing because the bags are back. So Rick went back to boxes during the winter months just for shipping. You know, it makes it easier. Plus, I don't remember exactly, something about the shipping in the boxes versus shipping in the bags due to cold weather. But we are back to monster bass bags, which I absolutely love the bags over the boxes anyway, because I can keep a bunch of bags in my boat, keep them down, you know, like I'll have like a worm bag and like a flipping bait bag and whatever. Nothing but motivated fishing stuff and whatever. So back to the bags, but let's get into this. This is Carolina rig month. That's the main theme. I don't know whose dog that is. Neighbor just got a new puppy. So Carolina rig, but he breaks it down. There's a lesson in here for Carolina rigging, and then square billing, and then working a crankbait through cover, jerk bait, stuff like that, right? So this month's bait card, if you will, just has a bunch of lessons in here, so that's kind of cool. Next month is supposedly drop shot, but there's that, right? So without any further ado, golden tickets, get that out of the way. All right, let's just start pulling baits out, I guess. This is Grand Bass Fishing Lures, the 6.5-inch Airtail Wiggler in black blue flake, 10-pack of worms. Slight garlic scent to them. They kind of look like one of the squirrel tail worms that's made by Big Bite Baits, but this is hollow, has a little hollow spot in the back. So I guess let's make sure they're all like that, not just some random fluke that's like that. But yeah, so they're hollow in the back. That's actually pretty cool if you think about it. That should give you the ability to put, like, I don't know, a little rattle back there, or with it being hollow, it's probably going to hold air really well, so you know you're going to get a shaky head that's going to stand up and not just, you know, lay down flat on the bottom. But you probably put, like I said, a little rattle back there, a little scent back there, maybe crush up some Alka-Seltzer so you leave a little fart trail as it's dissolving in the water. I think there's just a couple different options you can do with that, so that's kind of cool. Grand Bass Fishing Lures 6.5-inch Airtail Wiggler in black blue flake. And I dropped the rest of the bag. All right, next up is Lucky Strike crankbait right here. This is the AOS 2, which is 3/8 ounce, 2 to 5 foot, 2 inches long, little crankbait. It's a, you know, medium crankbait. And then Moody Blue is the color. So that's actually pretty cool. I kind of dig that color. Little chartreuse belly. It's almost like a sexy shad, but slightly different. Actually, really, really like that. There's like baby blue flakes on the top that I can see just a little bit in the sun. Or I guess a little bit of sun. It's mostly clouds, but you get my point. All right. Next up is another crankbait from Arc Fishing. Now, I've thrown these things before. They have a little magnet in the bottom. It makes them so your hooks will kind of magnetize and stick back like a mag draft swim bait, kind of, but not as drastic as a mag draft. But that is one thing. It's supposed to be for casting, but I did notice that it in some of my other crankbaits that magnet would hold the hook back a little bit. Let's see if this one does it. Man, I cannot get this thing out. All right, well, this one's not doing it. Okay, so my other ones that I had, these hooks would sometimes stick back here in the back because the little magnet would hold them in place. This one's obviously not doing it, but I don't know if you heard that, the casting, if you will. Here's the little pop and then falls back forward. That's your little magnetic casting weight transfer system. But yeah, like I said, I guess this one isn't holding it back. My others that I have in my crankbait box totally hold this in the back. Floating length 2 5/8, or sorry, 2 1/8, 100, good Lord, that is so hard to read. 2 1/8, 55 millimeter, weighs 3/8 ounce. It's good for 3 to 5 feet. And your color is gold black back. Again, that's from Arc Fishing. We've had Arc in some of the other boxes in the past. We had them. We had a topwater last year that I actually hooked myself in the back of the leg with a Kentucky. Caught a little spotted bass, and he hooked me also. Here's a Monsterbass little neck gator. I'm going to put this in a giveaway that's coming up, so someone's going to get this, probably along with 1 or 2 of these baits too. Here's my sticker for the month. Another pack of soft plastics. Z-Man Boar Hogs and June Bug. Because they're Z-Man, they are Elastec, which means you do not want to store these with any of your other soft plastics. Make sure you store them in their original container and only with other Z-Man products. But this will be a great Carolina rig bait or a great flipping bait. It's Elastec, so super stretchy. You can catch about a bazillion fish with this before it finally no longer works, but it's, I mean, they catch so many fish before they're just so beat up. They last for like ever, unless you get them hot and put them with other plastics. They will melt to your tackle box, they'll melt to your other plastics. Keep them in their original containers, keep them out of direct sunlight. All right, the last little bait that we have, and a couple other things, but last little bait we have is a Vicious Fishing jerkbait, the Ripper 110. I love jerkbait fishing. Guys, if you guys have been with the channel for a while, you know that I typically throw a bunch of jerkbaits this time of year. This year's been a little different. I've just been focused on some crankbait mostly, but I do throw jerkbaits. In fact, Monsterbass has a video coming out on their channel of a video that I made for them on jerkbait fishing. So anyway, this is that Vicious Ripper 110. For me, with 110 size crankbaits, I want to make sure that all my 110s have 3 sets of trebles. Not all 110s have it, but in my opinion, they should. These have that look of katana hooks. Are these katanas? They're not. They look very similar to katanas, but there you go. It's actually really good color. I'm pretty sure that would kill on Greer's Ferry right now. That's gizzard shad. There's a little weight transfer system right there. So when you cast it, these weights fly back to the rear, make it a lot easier to cast in the wind, which is typically the best time to throw jerk baits anyway. But there you go. Super sticky sharp hooks, which you need to have on jerk baits. So that's that for the baits, guys. But then something that Rick did this month, because it is Carolina Rig Month, is we have terminal tackle being Sabertooth Series EWGs, 5-pack of 3/0s, and a Carolina Rig kit. So guys, if you don't know how to Carolina rig, it's actually a super simple technique. Like I said, the little bait card thing talks about how to do it, but Rick asked us how we like to Carolina rig. I gave my input, and I'd like to think that some of this was inspired by some of my input based on the weights that I like to use and how I like to do it. But basically, this has everything you need with the exception of the line to do a Carolina rig. If you don't know how to do it, drop a comment below. I can make a Carolina rig video on how I like the Carolina rig, which is a little different than some people. A little more complicated, certainly not necessary to go as complicated as I go. But we have 2 weights in there. There's a 1/4 and a 3/8. There are 4 beads in there, 2 brass little clackers, and 4 barrel swivels, all in this kit. So it's definitely everything you need to Carolina rig, with the exception of the fishing line and the rod and reel. But the baits, all the weights, everything like that is included in this. And that is the April Monsterbass South Region box. Guys, if you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button right down there along with the bell notification button so you get notified every single time I put out another video. More content coming, more tournament video coming. I just got done with a tournament that I fished, along with the tournament where I was a high school tournament coach or whatever, the boat captain. So I took 2 high schoolers out that I'd never met before. We went out to Greer's Ferry and fished a tournament for them. So that video is coming also. Again, guys, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button along with the bell notification button. If you guys have enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment below. Feel free to ask any questions about any of these baits. If you guys want to see a technique or learn something about any of these techniques, ask it. Man, I can't put out the videos teaching stuff if I don't know what you guys want to learn. So, as always, guys, get on the water, be safe, and go stick some lips.